What's good in the hood, Giant fans? I'm gonna be talking about something very unusual today. Not really my normal content because I usually talk about Giant stuff, but I want to talk about this real quick. So, I just got done watching the Commanders and Eagles Thursday Night Football. Battle for the division. Expectations and all that good shit. Right? Just got done watching the game, and once again, this dude Saquon Barkley balled out. He balled out, got 2 touchdowns. I think he got like 143 rushing yards. He played out of his mind, and once again, he was a big factor in the Eagles' win. Week after week, time after time, the Philadelphia Eagles are just making Joe Shane look bad. He's making Joe Shane look really, really bad. Joe Shane keeps having egg on his face every time Saquon Barkley balls out. There's a possibility, and I don't want to say this, I really don't, but there's a possibility Saquon Barkley could win a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. And if that happens, if that really happens, I honestly think Joe Shane should be fired. If that happens. If Saquon Barkley brings the Eagles a Lombardi trophy, Joe Shane should be fired. Because that is one of the most, that could be detrimentally embarrassing for this organization. It is. You don't pay Saquon Barkley. You pay Daniel Jones, who's not even going to be on the team next year, but you pay him. You let Saquon Barkley walk. He goes to a division rival who we all hate. Every Giant fan hates the Philadelphia Eagles badly. We can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles. He goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's playing out of his mind. He's going to win Offensive Player of the Year. That's a fucking fact. And if he wins the Super Bowl, that's going to look so horrible for this organization. It's going to be talked about for years. It's going to be used as examples of why you need to pay your superstars. Joe Shane. This is what happens when you hire a dumbass for general manager. When you have a dumbass for general manager, shit like this happens. Joe Shane let Saquon Barkley walk, and now he's paying the piper. The Giants are 2-8, and Saquon Barkley is balling out. He's going off. I'm not saying if we had Saquon Barkley, it would be a different maker. If we had Saquon Barkley on the Giants right now, we would probably have 2 more wins. We would probably be 4-6 or 4-7 or whatever, But letting Saquon Barkley go and keeping Daniel Jones, and now you're moving on from Daniel Jones because you don't believe in him, just makes you look bad. This is why you pay your superstars before your question marks. You have to pay your superstars because you know what your superstars have. You know what they have. Daniel Jones was a question mark before you paid him. You paid the question mark and you franchise tagged the superstar. It doesn't work like that, Joe Shane. Even I know that. I am a normal dude that works a 9 to 5 at my job. And even I know that you pay your superstars before your question marks. He paid Daniel Jones, who was a question mark, and Daniel Jones is no longer a question mark. We know what he is. He is horrible. You paid that man $40 million a season, and he's not going to be on the New York Giants in 2025. Meanwhile, you could have had Saquon Barkley. You could have Saquon Barkley, Malik Neighbors, and possibly Cam Ward or Shadir Sanders or whoever at quarterback. And we would have had a great offense. But that didn't go that way because you were hesitant on signing the money with Saquon. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Saquon Barkley was asking for a lot of money. Well, would you rather pay Saquon Barkley $17 million or a quarterback like Daniel Jones $40 million? Would you? Because clearly the $40 million man was a mistake. It was an absolute mistake giving that man the contract. Meanwhile, Saquon Barkley, with a great offensive line, by the way, the Eagles have a phenomenal offensive line. They could block for Saquon. Saquon Barkley, with the offensive line, just shows success. Saquon Barkley, he's reverting back to his old form. He looks like 2017. He looks like 2018. He looks like 2018 Saquon Barkley. This is what happens when you have a dumbass as general manager. Now the New York Giants are in this funk with Daniel Jones. And the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl contenders with Saquon. And it hurts. I'll be honest with you. It hurts because as Giant fans, there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. I have no say. You have no say. No one, any Giant fan does not have no say. The idiot that's running the general manager. The general manager, the idiot, he's the one that has say. Joe Schoen is the one that has say. And he said that Saquon Barkley was not worth his money. So he let him go. And he is the best running back in the NFL. Right now. The best. I know Derrick Henry is leading all running backs in touchdowns, but Saquon Barkley, if you watch him, I've been watching a couple Eagles games this season. If you watch Saquon Barkley, he is the best running back in the NFL. And it's not even disputable. He is the best. And we're stuck with Daniel Jones. And he's not even going to be on the team next year. You signed Daniel Jones over Saquon. And Daniel Jones is not even going to be on the team next year. I'm going to say it again. If the Eagles, I hope they don't, but if the Eagles do win the Super Bowl with Saquon, Joe Schoen needs to be fired. He needs to be fired because he has ruined this franchise. He has humiliated this franchise. That is so humiliating as a Giant fan. That is so humiliating to anyone who represents the Giants or are a Giant fan or anyone who associates with this franchise. We'll see though. The Eagles, they beat the Commanders, and it looks like they're moving on. They're gonna go to the playoffs. They're moving on to their next week. I don't know who they play next week. I think they play a good opponent, but they move on next week. They're gonna win the division. They're gonna go to the playoffs. It's just a matter of can they make it to the Super Bowl and win it. They got Saquon Barkley. He's a beast, so maybe they can. But anyways, I'm done talking right now. It just bums me out. It really does bum me out. I was so bummed out that I ended up making a video about it because I had to talk about it. I had to talk about this. I can't believe it, man. You know, it's a tough pill to swallow. It really is. We just gotta accept the fact that we might be wrong with the Saquon Barkley debate. We might be wrong when it comes to the Saquon Barkley contract. I thought moving on with Saquon Barkley was a good idea. At the time of last season. Not when we won the playoffs. When we beat the Minnesota Vikings in that playoffs and got eliminated by the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe that we should have paid Saquon Barkley first. Then we should have franchise tagged Daniel Jones. Even Kayvon Thibodeau said it in a podcast. Saquon Barkley should have been paid first. They didn't pay him. They franchise tagged him. Then after that season was over, when we were 6-10 in 2023, he wanted more money. That's where I agreed that we need to move on from him. Because we already made the mistake of franchise tagging him. We already made the mistake of getting Daniel Jones a contract. So the right thing to do was get rid of Saquon Barkley. Because we wasn't winning games with him. We wasn't doing a lot with him. So we had to let him go. But man, we should have gave him that contract after we beat the Vikings in that postseason. We should have gave Saquon Barkley the contract in 2022. We should have. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Oh, well, Saquon Barkley was asking for a lot of money. Bullshit. $40 million is a lot of fucking money. I would have gave Saquon 17. Hell, I would have given Saquon 20. If he was asked for 20, I would have gave Saquon 20 million a season. Better than giving fucking Daniel Jones 40 million a season. But I'm not the general manager. You know? I'm just some guy that works a 9 to 5 at a warehouse. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about, you know? Fuck Saquon Barkley. You know, franchise tag Saquon Barkley. Give fucking all the money to a fucking quarterback who sucks. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I just had to... It's a very odd video, I know, but I had to release my frustrations out because this is just unacceptable. Saquon Barkley is going to win Offensive Player of the Year. I will bet my money on it now. And there's a possibility he might win a Super Bowl with this fucking Eagles team that I fucking hate. And if that happens, Joe Schoen has to be fired. I said it 2 times, I'm going to say it 3 times. He needs to get fired. If Saquon Barkley wins the Super Bowl with the Eagles, he has to get fired. That's a fireable offense. It is. Because not only do you lose a superstar, you help a rival get a Lombardi trophy. And that's unacceptable. Joe Schoen, as of right now, you are a fucking idiot. And from here on out, you have to prove me wrong. You will have to prove to me that you are a good general manager. Because you're not right now. You're not. You did good in the draft. You draft some players. But as of right now, you are not a good general manager. And you're going to have to prove to yourself that you belong. You belong in this organization. You're going to have to prove to yourself that you can be a general manager for this organization. But as of right now, you are a fucking idiot. I'm out. See you guys.